Hello, beautiful people. How are you today? I am recording from Houston, Texas right now. It is underwater. A huge storm has hit Houston. So another coincidence, whatever, comes 2 days after I release Operation Thumb Tack. Houston's underwater. I released the Michael Jackson real death about what they really did to him. They put Austin underwater. My grandmother, Miss Ewing, she was a patient of Dr. Conrad in Acres Homes, which has a huge black operation still going on amongst the black people there. My grandmother was also indoctrinated into Freemasonry. That's another thing that I learned. And another thing that I learned is she claimed that Dr. Conrad was killing her, and she wanted to stop seeing him for actually years until my aunt took her from seeing him, and then next thing you know, he's goes to be Michael Jackson's doctor. That was all thank you to the Scottish Reich, the Bushes, in Austin, Texas, which they are an hour away from here in Houston, Texas, and Vidor, Texas, which is an all KKK town. Now, these are the Nazis, the satanic pedophile rapist order that performed the satanic act as 9/11, and then blamed it on their so-called terrorists, whatever they want to call terrorists or terrorism, when they are clearly have always been the heart of racism, the heart of terrorism, and the heart of evil in the whole entire world. Bottom line. So they're an hour away from here in Vidor, Texas, all KKK town. The Bush Ranch is right next door. An hour away from there is Austin, Texas, Scottish Reich Lodge. So it's very close knit here. Houston, NASA, Nazis. I grew up with Chris Treadway, who was the head of the graphics department for the Nazi satanic emblem that we know as the Olympics. That's what the rings are, satanic. If you don't know about what the rings in the Audi means, it's 666. So anyway, those are facts. So I grew up with Chris Treadway. Now, let me tell you about Chris Treadway, because Chris Treadway was a relocated, raped child. His father raped him. Probably Chris's Nazi grandfather raped Chris's father, because he was an Operation Paperclip Nazi, and that's what they do. Point blank. So I grew up with these racist people around me, running black ops around me, because I knew Chris's dad was a Nazi C.I.A. NASA guy of Operation Clip Paper. Now, Operation Clip Paper was the Vril's actual name for what they coined as their operation to come into America. And then once it got to the KKK, and then KKK got it to the Skull and Bones, and then the Skull and Bones formed the CIA through the president. And then they told the president that they wanted to bring the Nazi psychopath, rapist, scientist to the United States. So the president said, I don't want them here in the United States. I don't want them, I want them dead. They rape kids, they're psychopaths, they're witches. So then the CIA was divided. The one that worked for the Skull and Bones and the one that worked for the president. Which one do you think won, CIA? Huh? So let's get into the Vril. Now, this is about Operation Thumb Tack. Now, I want you to understand one thing about Operation Thumb Tack and about black goo and about the first witches' communication, and where the diamond projects and the Superman logo and all the Hecate demon casting come from. It comes from the Vril Society and the Thule Society. Now, these guys are the societies behind the Nazis, behind the CIA, behind the Windsors, behind the Rothschilds, behind everyone that puts their face out there. These guys don't want to be seen, don't want to be known, and they don't want to be tracked, and they don't want their knowability to be known. That's why I'm talking about them. The projects, the Black Ops projects run in the United States all belong to the Vril and Thule Society. Now, I want you to understand that the Vril was basically the witches that did all the sacrificial rituals. They did all the child experimentation, all the so-called, what they coin as looking glass, looking window, crystal ball project. That's what it was originally called, the Crystal Ball Project. When you look into a crystal ball and you're supposed to see people or try to figure out what's going on, witches. So that was the first Vril project, was the Crystal Ball Project. And researching the crystal ball and trying to figure out how to digitize this power and understanding it. So I want you to understand what the Thule Society was about. The Thule Society was a branch of the Vril Society, but the Thule Society's sole purpose was to gather all information on vertical lift. Now, do you know what vertical lift is? Well, you can ask the Windsors and the Rothschilds, about their Harrier jet that goes up and down and, can take off. Vertical lift. So the Thule's society was basically the UFO guys, to find out all information on how to do magnetic pulse engines, free energy. Okay, they weren't the first to do it, but they were the first to actually try to find out about it and find a white power society to gather all the information about it. They were the first to do that. So let's get into one of the first communications or visions that one of the Vril witches, I guess, had, and why you had the Superman logo, why you have the Fashion TV diamond, which is the Superman logo, which is the Superman logo is a diamond, why you have the Freemason Diamond Project, why you have diamond worship, why you have all this occultism around diamonds, and the diamond symbol, and the Superman logo, and the S, and what it really means, and who really started the comic books. The Nazis did. So I want you to understand, like a witch, one of the head Vril witches had a vision of a diamond, and she drew it. And so then all the Nazis started brainstorming, oh, it's a diamond, oh, it's this, and then they put an S in it, and then there you go. And then from there, guess what? Superman, Vril, Super Projects, S, Satan. The Jews can call it what they want. I know where it came from. And then I know where it trickled down from and fed down from Zionists. So I want you to understand their projects and their diamond projects. The diamond project that the Vril Society was running specifically operated around these things: human knowability and how the human brain and body functions and how it responds to whatever they want it to respond to. That was the Diamond Project. And then whatever they got, the highest sensation of pleasure, sex, the highest sensation of pain, who can withstand pain, doing pain, who can live and get the closest to death the longest at a cut on a throat. I mean, it's the sickest project ever, and documenting the sickest things ever, and then putting them as diamonds. and documenting them as human experimentation. And this is as far as we can go: diamond 1, diamond 2, diamond 3, and isolating, say, dog diamonds into human diamonds, into human sex diamonds, into human torture diamonds. That's the Diamond Project. Do you understand? So this basically came out of the Vril and human witchcraft experimentation. So now you're starting to get the whole logo and Superman worship and the fashion TV diamond logo, which fashion TV is the hugest in human trafficking, modeling prostitution, cartel activity, drug activity. Yes, they have a full-blown brothel in Vienna. Fashion TV. So again, you see the diamond worship, sex worship, Luciferian worship, diamond worship in your face. Again, I want you to understand that the Nazis own Disney. They always go after the kids. Human experimentation was built from the Diamond Projects. Was built off experimenting on Hebrews and their own German people. This was the Vril and Thule Diamond Projects. It is now 2016. This is going to be the second expose video on Operation Thumb Tack. When I released the first video, I had a fever. I was in a lot of pain, and I put the video up the best way I could and talking about the best way I could Operation Thumb Tack, which is the top of the top, creme de la creme of their projects. Because I want you to understand the Diamond Project came from Operation Thumb Tack. Now, I want you to understand these Nazis, when they were doing experimentations, when they were first doing experimentations on the brain, and they cut people's brains open and they didn't have anything to isolate anything and to see how the brain was affected here and here, they would use thumbtacks. What they would do is they would solder off the top of the thumbtack so to get the metal connection, and then attach an electrode to the top of the thumbtack and stick just the tip top of the thumbtack into the brain to do brain mapping, or to stick it in the skin if they didn't have a needle, or if they didn't have a sharpened paper clip. I'm talking about Nazi experimentation, and if they ran out of supplies, they would do and make do with whatever they had. I'm talking about German Nazi psychopaths that didn't care, and a lot of the times they were using German scientists, kidnapped German scientists, forcing them to do these experimentations to get what they wanted, and they didn't care how they did it. They would throw thumbtacks and paper clips and whatever they needed into the room and get it done to the scientists. This is what the Nazis did. This was Operation Thumb Tack. And then when they would come in and see all the victims responding to how they wanted them to respond to in pleasure, euphoria, pain, with a thumbtack or a paper clip, cordially stuck in their skin, like shaved down, really skinny as possible, Operation Paperclip, right? Operation Clip Paper. It wasn't just used to clip paper. So I want you to understand the nature of Operation Thumb Tack and why Houston is probably underwater. Because the Nazis, I guess, felt to shut down their system, so I can't upload another video or send a threat to Houston, like shut the fuck up or, ruin some more lives or who knows. But I'm gonna tell you what's happening right now, okay? With my system. I have a magnetic system online that I built that if I hadn't built it, I'd be dead. What it did was it kept the heavy pulses and nanotechnology out of my system and from killing me. It kept my heart original magnetic pulse sustained to the point to where, yeah, it hurt. And they were steadily pushing and pushing, but I was fighting back. So now it rained and their complete system has been shut down. But what you need to understand is why. Now, my system is based on nature and grounding, okay? And I have a very powerful system online, a magnetic system that's all a positive charger. So what it's doing with the rain is hitting my RF signals, which have a radio frequency modulator emitting frequencies right now. And I'll tell you what they are. A parasite killer frequency that I made, a coconut and termiac frequency that naturally cuts down on all parasites, kills parasites and inflammation, and also a chest infection frequency. Now, these frequencies are being bombarded through the rain frequencies on a subatomic level and hitting the rain when it falls down. Now, I'm not going to tell you how far my frequency goes because it's very legal. It's basically tapping into the Earth's magnetic frequency, helping her fight back against all the demonic frequencies that have been pumping her and you and me through the government for a very long time. Like psychotically, they don't stop. These witches like Hillary Clinton, chemtrails, spraying people, and then trying to program the goo into your system like you're a video game, like it's a video game, like they're playing a drone inside your body. They are psychotically sick. This is their system. So, I want you to understand the Full Diamond Project, the Demon Pin Blood Project. The Demon Pin Blood Project was originally Project Thumb Tack. Now, Demon Pin Project, there's a middle exclusive secret project between Project Thumb Tack and between Project Demon Pin Blood Project. There's Project Subcon, which was created from Project Thumb Tack. How is that? Well, Project Subcon was a project that was about mapping into the human subconscious, mapping out the human subconscious, and then later, Dr. Lily, that made the Lily Wave, completed Project Subcon. And he didn't even know he did it. But yeah, Dr. Lily completed Project Subcon. Now, Dr. Lily, who is he? Dr. Lily, well, he's kind of an interesting man. I mean, he's a hippie, basically. Hippie scientist. Took LSD, took acid, did a lot of things during, I guess, the MK Ultra mind test. Those crazy scientists, right? Running tests on themselves with sleep deprivation tanks and stuff like that. I guess he was kind of like the doctor in Fringe, maybe. Anybody seen Fringe? So that Walter. So Dr. Lily mapped out the human consciousness through LSD and through human experimentation on himself and I guess other willing, hippies. Take some acid, man. What do you see? I see a little purple elephant. It's so pretty. It has pink ears. It's so cute. I love you. Yeah, the test, huh? So anyway, just I want people to understand some facts and how things really, 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 really always went down and how they really went down. That's Dr. Lily. Now, Dr. Lily developed the Sawtooth Lily Wave. If you don't know about the Sawtooth Lily Wave, now, for all you hackers, governmental idiots, police, spies that thought you knew something, if you don't know what the Sawtooth Lily Wave is, you don't know shit. The sawtooth lily wave is the most used item in anything. Bottom line. I don't care what you do, what you got, whether it's a computer, TV, whatever. If it's digital, sawtooth lily wave, it's probably got some kind of mechanism in it that the government has either built or trying to build to respond to a sawtooth lily wave. Now, what's a sawtooth lily wave? Let me explain it to you. A sawtooth lily wave is specifically a signal, radio signal, frequency that's a sawtooth. I'm not going to go into the pyramidal sawtooth. Look it up. Now, it cuts through your magnetic field. That is what the government had been trying to do for a very long time. Magnetic field infiltration. Dr. Lilly figured out how to do it. Yeah, he did. And so then the government took that mathematical equation and started implementing it into radios and everything else. And, oh, well, hey, government, the radio won't work that well and your stuff won't work unless you put a lock on a sawtooth lily wave. It has to go right through those humans or they're gonna disrupt your radio waves, and you can't have that, huh? So you gotta put a sawtooth right at the point blank infiltration point so it'll go right through those humans. That's right. But don't forget, you can actually use that when you're going right through them to decipher information and mess with their minds and give them heart attacks and stuff like that. And then you can spray barbarium and chemtrails and nanotechnology and start programming them. And all those radio waves that are going through them with the sawtooth, just have fun. So, that's a fact. This is how it works. Now, I want you to understand, Thumb Tack, Nazi Operation Thumb Tack. Subcon, Operation Control the Subconscious. Create a controlling subconscious demon. A soul eater. Feeding off the subconscious of the soul. Sucking its knowledge, its chi, dry. Subcon. This is the sole purpose of witches. Witches feed off the life force of humans. They feed off the soul. What is the soul? The soul is the subconscious. The soul is the heart. The soul is all that knowledge that is there, but your mind doesn't have access to because your mind and the way you think has been molded by these fucking Nazis to think superior, inferior, in ways they want you to think. Project Subcon. So they can get into the subconscious and start diving into the subconscious and then playing with it and then taking control of your simple thinking mind and having control of your subconscious through Subcon. Now I want you to understand the Subcon frequency is most utilized in TV, Boob Tube to be exact. And if you think I'm using the name Boob Tube as a reference or slang word from the 50s or 60s to mean TV, you are very wrong. Boob Tube is an actual coined company patented frequency that they put through the TV for programming. That is Boob Tube. Fact. That people just don't want to know. Fact number 2. The most utilized patented frequency in Boob Tube is a sawtooth lily wave. Fact. Fact number 3. The other most programmed use, number 3, in a sawtooth lily wave, Mr. Piggybacker himself, Project Subcon. Fact. These are the operations of all U.S. government, Russian, Romanian, Spanish, African, Japan, Japanese, whatever Satanist you want to call it. These are their lead 3 operations of their technology. HARP 2. This is beast technology worldwide. This is how it operates. If you have a TV, if you have a computer, if you have a cell phone, these are the first 3 operations of it when it turns on. Point blank. So, hey guys, that operation, it's not on anymore. I wonder how that happened. So anyway, moving on. So, now you understand Operation Pin Demon. Now, I want you to understand pinning. See, when the government does a brain scan of you through this technology, through Wi-Fi, through smart meters to beam it up to a satellite, what version we got today of Negro 0071 useless eater? What's his brain mapping looking like? What version do we have? Version 4,062,000,000. Oh, that's a good one. I like that one. We had him under control then. So let's reset and put that back in operation and reset him back then. So, subject 001, Operation Useless Eater Negro, goes back to sleep. And now he wakes up reset. Next thing you know, he can't breathe. He's having heart problems, all of a sudden congestion, all this stuff. It's like, what happened, dude? It's like, I got the flu. Now, hold up. Now I want you to understand something really important, what the government has done. Flu shots, flu, nanotechnology, Hillary Clinton spraying red mist at night, the government spraying chemtrails that have what they call flu chemtrails in it. Has anybody ever been possessed by a demon? Yes or no? Now, you people that have been possessed by a demon and fought through it and got your senses back, and you're just a badass now and you're kicking demons' asses, you know what I'm talking about. You know. These other people that just think they get the flu and they're stupid, they don't know, but they're about to know. Now, when you get possessed, it's like the flu. Sweaty, headaches, you want to die, muscle aches, joint aches. I mean, it's like your body is like, you feel like you're gonna die. The flu is basically what it is demonic possession. That's why the government uses the flu to overmask demonic possession of their chemicals and human possession and takeover and genetic experimentation and cleavering directly into the cells. It's very painful. On a scientific level, this is what's happening using demonic digital encoding and digital demonic demons made with actual encoding of hex programs. If you don't know about programming and actual hex, and yeah, it's based off demonic hexing. But they've made everybody utilize hex programming as standard to learn programming in computers. Yeah, the Satanic Order. Now, not only that, going back further is Cobalt. Now, I want you to understand, I'm going to give you something, the history of Cobalt that's never been revealed before. And yeah, go ahead and make it rain, Nazis. Shit on yourself. I don't care. Kill yourself. It's out. Now, black goo was found frozen in the North Pole. Fact. Then the government took it, and they didn't know what it was, what to do with it, how to experiment on it. Then the black goo formed into a symbol of a diamond. That was its first communication. Now the Vril witch, back in the Vril time, had a vision of this, and that's why she drew the black diamond, which was the foundation of the Black Diamond Vril Black Diamond Project, which came from Project Crystal Ball, which focused on seeing where this black diamond actually came from. So the black diamond came from finding the black goo in the North Pole, and the black goo formed as a communication a black diamond. So the government thought it was like Superman, stupid shit. But this was already pre-programmed into society by the Vril. So then the government thought, oh, this must be Superman stuff, blah, 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 blah. We need to learn how to communicate with it. So the government wrote what they call cobalt. This is facts. Now, cobalt comes from the language. Cobalt, actually, the language comes from the moon ship. Now, most people don't know about the moon ship. If you saw Transformers and they talk about the ship on the moon, they poke fun at that. If you know Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon, coincidence, whatever. If you've heard about Nazis being, having a moon base, whatever. Okay, the ship on the moon that was crashed, huge ship. Bigger than the Paris Eiffel Tower, like 20 of them. Okay, it's huge. Like, it could fit like 20 Paris Eiffel Towers, like, standing side by side. It's huge. That moon ship. So, programming that was taken from that moon ship, that was being, how can I explain? That was being, trying to be deciphered at the time. Black goo mimicked that language. So then the government, what they did is they developed a binaural language to mimic that language and formed cobalt. So they thought that ship was Super Diamond, Black Diamond ship. In actuality, that black goo was searching for that ship. It's an old war. That's all. The government mistook that it was peaceful, and it wasn't. That's all. This is the Black Diamond Project, Demon Pin Blood Project, the Pin Soul Eater Project, Project Subcon. Project on top of project. Oh, it's above your classification. Of course it is. They don't want anybody to know what I'm telling you. They're witches. So I hope you understand the project and where black goo comes from, and cobalt and the communication comes from, and why you have Superman, why you have fashion TV, and why you have the Black Diamond Project, and why you have human trafficking, and witches and Satanists and human sacrificial rituals and their project in your face, because they think, oh, nobody's ever gonna figure it out. And diamonds coming from where? Africa, and the black diamond trade. And who's at the top of it? Windsors, Rothschilds, Satanists, rapists, pedophiles, with the Clintons, with the Jeffrey Epstein. I'm not gonna even call it a scandal. It's the rapist, child rapist facts that no one will do anything about, that Bill Clinton is involved in, that involves Hillary Clinton, his wife, and the evil witch wants you to make her your president so she can continue to tap into your head with her red mist that she sprays at night. Because chemtrails is actually made in Arkansas, Little Rock, at her base, and then she distributes it to the U.S. military, which poisons everyone. This is the Clinton-Mina syndicate, satanic cartel, which works with the Gypsy cartel and the Masonic cartel. Now, I'm going to break down some encryption about Gypsy encryption. Why the Gypsies are with the Mexican cartel and the Nazi cartel and why they're worth so much. Not to mention the fact, if you take a beautiful Romanian woman and she's raped by a Gypsy, 80% of the time you'll get a blonde-haired, blue-eyed Gypsy, which can become a Nazi with Gypsy satanic witchcraft in them. Now, what people don't really understand about Gypsies is Gypsies practice a specific kind of religion. Their religion, they call it Christianity, but it is Satan and evil. Just pure satanic evil worship. Now, if you don't know the history about Constantine and how Constantine was a pagan, and Constantine actually started the original Orthodox Church of Christianity because he was losing power to the fish teachings. These are facts. Now, when you get into the Gypsies' religion, they combine witchcraft and Christianity. They practice both, and then they develop their own language that only they know, which was developed from this. So then I want you to understand most Gypsies in Romania speak Spanish before they speak Romanian. Why? It's so they can go to Spain, Mexico, and blend in with the Mexicans in Spain. And they're not called Gypsies because people that hunt Gypsy human traffickers know how evil, how ruthless, how sick, how sadistic they are, and how dangerous they can be with a word. These are facts about human traffickers and the head of the human cartel and who snatches the kids for who gets their hands dirty, and who puts their encoding and their little kids in the CIA and at the top of their satanic projects, and why. This is why. So now it's out, Gypsies, Mexicans, Satanists, Russian Gypsies. It's out. Rasputin, the Gypsy that supposedly, killed a very powerful Russian and replaced him. Rasputin, the blonde Romanian blonde Gypsy. And you can check the Kremlin to find out who that is. I already told them. So a special you-know-whose wife already told the Kremlin. I just backed it up, and they coincided when Rasputin supposedly died, and supposedly when something went down with a very powerful Russian KGB agent, and then afterwards he was supposedly healing, and then poof, here comes blonde-haired, blue-eyed CIA sanctioned Rasputin. They needed somebody that was clearly knew Russian and that wasn't American, and that the Gypsies and the CIA could trust. So that's been out. So welcome to Operation Thumb Tack. So this is part 3. Get educated. Thank you for your time. I am Zakaos, walking the light. I want you to understand all these things about encryption, human trafficking, the Diamond Project, how it all coincides with Fashion TV, who's owned by Nika Gadu, who is the head of human trafficking in Romania, owns Fashion TV. Levi Moranu, his second strong arm, was in charge, is the guy in between Romania and Moldova and the Russians. These are their guys, their families, their names. Levi Moranu has American citizenship. Fact. Levi Moranu is a known criminal with Gypsies and Mexicans, and is married, or was married, to a Romanian prostitute that he quote-unquote saved from his own business. Fact. This is how they flaunt their shit. Fact. So So this is Operation Nazi Satanic Thumb Tack. This is how they operate. Learn it, understand it, hunt them, do a good job, be better than them. I'm Zakaos, walk in the light, understand they are going down harder and faster than they could have ever dreamed or imagined. Peace. And this is for the kids. Never forget them. And how psychopathic and ruthless and cutthroat they are with kids. They are habitual. They don't stop. Peace.